2015, and we finally got cold weather.
Yes.
So did you do anything fun for New Year's Eve?
I did. I went to my friend's house. She had a little party, and then a trolley just rolled up at like 11 something.
So y'all partied on the trolley?
We did. We hopped on with people. We didn't know who they were. We just hopped on and we rode around town. I think I was probably in the middle of Johnston Street when the New Year rang in. I don't know.
Don't know. Not. I was asleep by the New Year's. I didn't ring it in. I was pretty tired. I mean, I've been pretty constantly going in 2015. 2015 was a big year for me and the Lafayette Food Junkie Facebook page.
Yeah.
I mean, we went to LA for the show. It's been a nonstop year. So I kind of just was like, you know what? I'm not going out and I'm just going to stay home. I worked that day. I work in the medical field, and the last week of the year is always known as Hell Week. Because everyone waits until the last minute to use their insurance benefits.
Yes.
And then they also get the HSA cards from them companies, and they lose, if there's any money left, they lose it January 1st. So they're always in a rush to use the benefits before the beginning of the year. So it's always like if you work in the medical field in a doctor's office, it is insane the last week of the year.
Oh goodness.
So I had worked that day. I went to Bread and Circus. They did their late night early. So I think I was the first person that ordered that night. I got this great grilled cheese and caviar sandwich. It was very New Year's Eve to me. It was good. So I ate that. And then I went home and drank champagne and watched Netflix and was in bed in bed before the New Year. So it was nice. It was a nice night off, nice to relax. So did you eat your black eyed peas and cabbage for New Year's Day? So you're setting it out. You're setting it out on the right track.
I did. I went to 2 different places, and I had it both places.
Nice.
So I'm like, does that mean like double the fortune?
It
double
should.
The luck?
I think that's how it should work.
I agree.
We'll work on that. I broke Southern tradition and went with a New Mexico tradition for New Year's, and I made pozole, and I hope that I'm pronouncing that correctly. It is Pozole. But we looked at it phonetically online before the show because I was pretty sure that I've been saying it incorrectly this whole time.
She did her research,
and it looked like pozole. And it's a stew of hominy and meat. And I cooked it in a crock pot. And it's traditionally done with either like chicken or pork tenderloin. And I did mine with venison because that's what it had in the fridge. So we had a little bit of
some Southern in there.
Woods to table influence. And you top it with cabbage too. So you get that as well. But there was no cabbage.
No cabbage.
At Walmart on New Year's
Eve
when I went to buy everything. So a word of wisdom, do not wait until New Year's Eve to buy your cabbage and black eyed peas.
It's probably the only time you'll ever see the cabbage.
They will be out, wiped out. I think that's the first time I've ever seen the vegetable section of Walmart wiped out, because you typically don't go there for your vegetables.
No.
Yeah, they were out. But I had the pozole, and I was really pleased with how it came out. I got my spices right. Sometimes when you cook in the crock pot, it can kind of get a little watered down, but I got them right. So I was super happy about it.
A little pat girl right there.
Yeah, now I have lots of leftovers to eat on throughout the week. So I'll be lucky.
You should be lucky. You should.
Hopefully. But it'll be like eating a lot of black eyed peas and cabbage.
We'll just say some little prayers. It's fine.
Yeah, we'll do that. So last week for the Times, my article was on the best things that I ate in 2015. And I always love, like, those lists can be a little controversial. Some people like them. Some people don't, because every news outlet that writes about food is going to have their version of it. I guess it can get a little overwhelming. But I personally like it because it reminds me of everything that I've done the past year.
Yeah.
And everything that I've eaten. And Instagram is so nifty and helpful for that, especially when you photograph every single thing that you eat. Pretty much. So it was nice to go down memory lane, and I got to see, the food that I ate in LA. And I went to Bouchon. I got to tour a Thomas Keller kitchen. I mean, that's a cool, unique experience. And I had to shorten it. Last year when I did the list, I did 12. I did the best thing that I ate each month.
Yeah.
But for time for the article, I had to shorten it to 7. So I left out pretty much anything that wasn't local besides the chocolate chip cookies at Willa Jean, because I'm convinced that they're the best chocolate chip cookies that I've ever eaten.
You're an advocate for that.
Yeah, I am so an advocate for those cookies. So, that was on the list, and I pretty much did local things. Like I did the cheeseburger from Acadiana Superette, which I mentioned that I don't like steakhouse burgers.
Right.
And this one is just like a classic, almost like a divey kind of burger where it's like the American cheese pressed, sandwich type of hamburger. And I was like, yeah, this burger made me eat my words. So that was on the list. The pork tenderloin that I had at De Gaulle Square Bistro and Bar was on the list.
Delicious.
Yeah. The Decou I had from the Pig and Plow Supper was on the list. So it's interesting. If you guys are interested in reading it, it's on the Times of Acadiana website right now. And it's on the Lafayette Food Junkie page. And it's just the best things that I ate in 2015. And so again, because it's the beginning of the year, my next article that's coming out this week is faces to watch out for in 2016. These are 5 people that I picked in the culinary world in Acadiana that I think everyone needs to keep an eye on for 2016, which was kind of cool to do that. But I also feel like that puts a lot of pressure on them too, that they have to do big things in 2016. But a lot of these people have been in the game for a while, and it's just the progression in their career. And I think that they're primed to do big things, with their career in the coming years. So
how exciting.
I'm one of the names in particular. Actually 2 of the names in particular, I really have my eye on because I really think that they're going places. So you guys will have to check for that article.
Check it out.
Yeah, check for that article in next week's paper. I just want to also mention that I am selling t-shirts.
Yay!
So if you have ever wanted to express your love for Lafayette cuisine and that you are a Lafayette Food Junkie like I am, you guys can go to the Lafayette Food Junkie page on Facebook. It's actually pinned to the top of the page. It's through Teespring is the name of the company. And you can go and buy a t-shirt and be a Lafayette Food Junkie as well. Yeah. I feel like it was fun. I remember when I designed the logo, people really liked it.
Yeah.
And expressed interest that they would want it in t-shirt form. And I figured maybe this will be something that I do once a year, kind of do a t-shirt, but change the design a little bit each year. So it'll be something to check out. But again, you guys can go to the Lafayette Food Junkie Facebook page, pinned to the top, and you can order it there. For
a limited time.
Yes, it is a limited time. They have about 3 weeks left in order to purchase them. And there's a limited number as well. So purchase.
Yes.
Okay, we are going to take a break. And when we come back, we have more topics. So come back to us. It's the Lafayette Food Junkie Show on News Talk 96.5 KPAL.
Beads for Less on Pinhook presents Crew to Bayou's Voodoo Masquerade Mardi Gras Ball. Friday, January 29th at La Marquise in Park Lafayette. Celebrate with King Samdi I, Dwight Prudhomme, VP of Republic National Distributing Company, and Queen Marie Laveau I, Jenny Kruger, Executive Director of Acadiana Symphony Orchestra and Conservatory. Music will be provided by the Bucktown All-Stars for dancing around and having a great time. Reserve your table, half table, or individual tickets right now at this radio station's website.
You're a 19-year-old kid critically wounded in the Central Highlands of Vietnam. Your unit is outnumbered 8-1, and the enemy fire is so intense that your CO has ordered the medevac helicopters to stop coming in. Your family is halfway around the world, and you're thinking that you'll never see them again. Then you hear the sound of a helicopter. Captain Ed Freeman is coming for you. He's not medevac, but he heard the radio call and decided to fly down into the machine gun fire anyway. Then he flies you up and out to safety, and he keeps coming back 13 more times until all the wounded are out. No one knew until the mission was over that the captain himself had been hit 4 times. Medal of Honor recipient Captain Ed Freeman died in Boise, Idaho. We're losing about 285 Vietnam veterans every day. But the Education Center at the Wall will preserve stories like these so future generations will understand and never forget. Call 1-866-990-WALL or go to buildthecenter.org and help us build it.
Want a relaxing way to spend some time? Louisiana's state parks are right in your own backyard. Spend the day hiking, fishing, biking, and picnicking, or stay overnight at one of our affordable cabins, campsites, or group camps. And tour a state historic site for an educational experience the whole family can enjoy. Call 1-877-226-7652 for more information, or visit www.lastateparks.com. Sponsored by the Louisiana Office of State Parks.
Welcome back to the Lafayette Food Junkie Show on News Talk 96.5 KPEL. I'm your host, Tiffiany Decou. Scott, actually, we had a call-in during the break that was calling in to let us know about one of their traditions that they do for New Year's. What did he tell you, Scott?
Yes, Ronnie from Youngsville called and said that his family, they wrap dimes in aluminum foil, and then they put them in like you drop them in the black eyed peas, and it's kind of like the equivalent to finding the baby in the king cake. And so if you find a dime, you unwrap it and you keep it, and you're supposed to have good luck all year.
Nice. I like that tradition.
I like that.
Melanie McMath is coming on with us in the next segment, and we're going to talk about juice cleanses, and she actually does some things with her family as well that we were talking about before the show too.
Yes, indeed.
We're going to talk to her about that as well. I love all these different traditions that everyone does. In fact, if you have a tradition with your family and you want to call in and let us know about it, please do, because I'm enjoying hearing that. That's interesting. And you asked him too if anyone had accidentally eaten one.
So I'm like, what happens? Like, just in your mouth? I guess you kind of see if you can notice the foil.
I guess
but
so.
When I'm hungry sometimes though, and I'm eating.
I was about to say, knowing me and like how I chow down on food sometimes, I would swallow it.
Probably so.
It would be in there. A quarter instead?
A quarter?
It'll be a little bigger.
So like more luck?
Maybe so.
I'm about to wrap some Ben Franks in there. That's what I'm about to do. Okay.
So one of the things that I asked on the Lafayette Food Junkie page was about restaurants that we would like to see in Lafayette in 2016. I ask this every year. A lot of chains were mentioned. One of them that was mentioned, oh man, I'm blanking on their name. Joe's Crab Shack. That was the name of them.
Yeah.
Why, when you live in an area that has such great seafood, would you want a chain seafood restaurant?
Right.
And I mean, we had, what was it? Not Long John Silver. It was Red Lobster. We had a Red Lobster in Lafayette before, and it didn't do well. I mean, because we live in an area that has such great food. Like, I would never want a chain seafood restaurant in town. But anyway, there was a lot of chains that were mentioned. A lot of mention on dim sum. I'm still on the dim sum bandwagon. In fact, the Daily Advertiser asked me like what were some wishes or hopes for 2016. And I said that I would like more diversification and the restaurant selection in town. And I was like, in other words, we need a dim sum restaurant. And it's so funny because the day that article came out was when Avant-Garde, which is the pop-up that Dark Roux is doing, announced that they're doing their next pop-up that they're doing is dim sum.
So
we're actually going to get a little teaser, a little taste of what dim sum is like. But anyway, that was my big thing, dim sum restaurant. A lot of people were like, no more burger restaurants, no more sushi restaurants. Someone mentioned a great Chinese restaurant. So these people that are requesting that P.F. Chang's come to town will know that that's not good Chinese food and what really good Chinese food tastes like, because that's something that we don't really have in town either. So it's always a very popular post.
Yeah.
And it's interesting to see kind of the things that people want in town. Then the Daily Advertiser ran 16 restaurants that are coming to Acadiana for this coming year.
Yeah.
And the majority of them were chain restaurants.
Yeah, they were.
And I mean, I'm going to get on my soapbox for a minute.
Let me dust it off for you.
Yeah, I love Lafayette because Lafayette's unique in that it's a city, but it has a town feel. And we have a sense of community here and a sense of supporting our own and supporting local. And I feel like with the introduction of all of these chain restaurants that are coming, that it's going to transform that.
Yeah.
And we're going to become Baton Rouge, or there's like 3 restaurants from New Orleans that are coming. And we're going to we're trying to be Baton Rouge, we're trying to be New Orleans, and I don't want to be that. I want to be Lafayette. I want to be what makes us unique, and our unique food and our unique culture that we have here. I do not like these chain restaurants coming, and I know that it's good for progress and it shows that we're growing as a city, but I'm scared. Like, I'm scared of what that's going to do to the local restaurants that are here.
Yeah,
and
true.
The national spotlight that some of our local restaurants have gotten here, and it's going to get shadowed and watered down, and it's just it's scary. And a lot of them are sushi restaurants that we have a bazillion of already.
God, I saw that.
Burger places. Can we please not get any more burger places in Lafayette? Like, come on. And a Mexican restaurant. Like, it's just and it would be different if it would be stuff that we haven't had before, but it's all a lot of the same. Like, and I'm just really scared of what that's going to do to our local restaurants and our local culinary scene here. I mean, like I said, there's 3 restaurants from New Orleans that are coming. We had a restaurant that came from New Orleans before, Cochon, and I feel like that was a little different, and it came at a time before the culinary scene started in Lafayette, and it didn't do well here because it closed. But at the same time, it was the first restaurant of its caliber in Lafayette.
Yeah.
And a lot of the chefs that are in restaurants of their own now were in some form related to that restaurant.
Yeah.
So I see where that particular restaurant worked at that time, and it didn't. There's been a lot of talk that it was a little ahead of its time in Lafayette.
Potentially, yeah.
But these restaurants, I feel like these restaurants that are coming from New Orleans aren't going to bring anything culinary wise. It's just a New Orleans restaurant that's coming to Lafayette, kind of thing. What do you think about that?
I don't know. I agree.
It's just, I don't know. I'm really scared, and it's something that has been weighing on me, especially with this list that came out. Interestingly enough, 2 restaurants that are opening this year that weren't on the list are local. This place called Eastgate Barbecue, which is going to be opening off of Chemin Metairie. It's going to be a barbecue express, so they're not going to have like a little sit down place. It's going to be like a call in or order online and like pick up.
Yeah.
The owners are from Lafayette, but they actually have an Eastgate Barbecue in Morgan City. So it's still not technically local, but we don't have a lot of barbecue places in Lafayette, especially in Youngsville.
Yeah.
So that's interesting to there. I talked to him about coming on the show when they get closer to opening. So that'll be interesting to see. Also, this place is opening downtown called the Sizzling Monkey.
Say what?
The Sizzling Monkey. And they're opening in the old stands downtown.
Really?
Yeah. And they're supposed to be doing some kind of cooking on rocks. Yeah. When they get closer to opening, they're going to come on the show too and talk and explain about that more. But those were 2 local restaurants that are opening that weren't on the list.
Right.
So that's just, I don't like these chain restaurants coming in and overshadowing the hard work that we've done in the culinary scene and the chefs that have done here. And I don't want the work that they've done to go unnoticed. And I'm scared that with the more competition, that people are going to go more towards flashy new chains as opposed to the established good restaurants that are here.
I agree, but I mean, we still have things like Eat Lafayette. We can still have like that
and we
share our community.
We'll still have that too. I just feel like it's going to be a lot harder.
Probably so.
So it's a little scary for me, and I feel like I've been on my soapbox about this because this is a hot topic for me. Like I'm not anti-chain, but I'm going to pick a local restaurant over a chain.
Well, we as a community control that, really. Like eat local, try a new place a week, or if you're going to have a date night, they can reach out to you or someone to find out where these restaurants are. I mean, I don't know every restaurant that's in Lafayette, but as a community, we need to support local as well.
Right.
I mean, it's enjoyable to go out to these chain restaurants. They might have different things, but I still think we should support. It's
local.
Up to us.
Right.
To keep that alive.
So eat local, Lafayette is all I'm trying to say. All right, we are going to take another break, and when we come back, Melody is on, and we're going to be talking juice cleanses for the new year. So come back to us. It's the Lafayette Food Junkie Show on News Talk 96.5 KPAL.
You're a 13-year-old kid critically wounded in the central highlands of Vietnam. Your unit is outnumbered 8-1, and the enemy fire is so intense that your CO has ordered the medevac helicopters to stop coming in. Your family is halfway around the world, and you're thinking that you'll never see them again. Then you hear the sound of a helicopter. Captain Ed Freeman is coming for you. He's not medevac, but he heard the radio call and decided to fly down into the machine gun fire anyway. Then he flies you up and out to safety, and he keeps coming back 13 more times until all the wounded are out. No one knew until the mission was over that the captain himself had been hit 4 times. Medal of Honor recipient Captain Ed Freeman died in Boise, Idaho. We're losing about 285 Vietnam veterans every day. But the Education Center at the Wall will preserve stories like these so future generations will understand and never forget. Call 1-866-990-WALL or go to buildthecenter.org and help us build it.
This is the story of Daniel, who was born 2 months early. He weighed 1 pound, 7 ounces. His lungs weren't ready. His heart wasn't ready. His brain wasn't ready. At the hospital, the nurses said Daniel was a fighter, and they would do all they could to help him. The doctor said even with the best care, Daniel may never walk. He may never see. He may never learn. Daniel's parents spent night after night at the hospital, watching his every breath, holding his tiny hands, and looking for signs that he was growing stronger. At home, his parents looked around Daniel's empty nursery, at the quiet toys and the still rocker, and they hoped that one day they could sit in that rocking chair and tell this story to their very healthy son. Daniel's is just one of the more than 500,000 stories of babies born prematurely last year, but there's hope for a happy ending. The March of Dimes is funding the research and programs to stop premature birth. You can help bring more babies home healthy. Learn how at marchofdimes.com. Working together for stronger, healthier babies.
It's Thursday night, and you're grabbing drinks with some friends. Started off with a pitcher for the table, which quickly becomes 2. There's pool. And there's the photo booth.
All right, everybody squeeze in. Say cheese!
Followed naturally by an order of wings. And another.
Can we get some extra ranch sauce?
Then there's the ceremonial nightcap.
So what are we doing this weekend?
And lastly, it's back to the car, which, if you're buzzed, could be the most expensive night of your life. Getting pulled over for buzz driving could cost you around $10,000 in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates. Nothing kills a buzz like getting pulled over for buzz driving, because buzz driving is drunk driving. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Welcome back to the Lafayette Food Junkie Show on News Talk 96.5 KPEL. I'm your host, Tiffiany Decou, and joining me now in studio is Miss Melody McMath with Evolve Juice. Thank you for joining us.
Hi, thank you.
I said it correctly this time, too. I said
you
Evolve.
Said Evolve.
Is it not? It's Emerge. I did it. Oh, I knew it. I was
emerged.
Practicing. You emerged into Emerge Juice. I knew I was going to do it, too. I knew it. Oh, man. Okay, well, first question is name change. What brought that about?
Okay, well, so I have this really beautiful and like bittersweet, tragic moment in my life. Not this past fall, but the year before, I had this beautiful thing called Kickstarter that changed my life, and the community totally came together and supported us, and we got $25,000 from the community to open a storefront. Well, shortly after that, it took about 3.5 months to actually receive the money. And then my business partner and I decided we needed to go different ways. And so because of that, we went through about a 10-month, just not an agreement, and I couldn't use the logo. I couldn't do anything. It was just really, I was in this like bind. And then finally, I like to contribute my things just through the universe and spirit, just kind of helped me to find the new space that we entered into, which was, I thought Evolve was everything. And I was like, that's all we ever do is evolve. And then I realized, but then we emerge from that process.
Right.
And so
emerge from the ashes.
Yes, exactly. It was just like a phoenix rising is what it felt like. But anyway, so it was just a really beautiful experience because it took me going through those 10 months of like not wanting to get rid of Evolve. And it's like everything, I put everything into that. And then lo and behold, it's a new company emerged from that. And it's perfection, really. It incorporates the beliefs of Evolve, and then I actually got to build upon that and go a little further. So I don't know if you remember this, but like Evolve represented the 3 levels of evolution, which is love, health, and sustainability. And then now Emerge represents those 3, and then the emergence part, which is purpose, direction, and action. So, which is great because it's like that really is.
Right.
And it's funny because I come back to that all the time. So I've finally done that, and we're finally getting back into ordering all the stuff for Kickstarter and getting into the rewards. This month is dedicated to Christine DeVilliers, who is a naturopath, and we've got a juice that she created and some raw food snacks, trail mix specifically that we're carrying in the store now. So I'm working on getting all those things into place, and it's like something I kind of lose sleep over because it's been so long, and I would just want to get that done. But in that time, I've actually gone through the divorce of my business partner and in my marriage. But it's all been for the better. He and I are great friends. We still work together and are still building this. And so it's been a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful experience. So and then I've opened, of course, Tribe and the Emerge restaurant, which is way more work than I thought it was going to be, but I'm ever so grateful for it. So
you've had a lot of progress in
1 year.
Yeah, you've
I
done
look back
a lot.
and I think, who was I?
Right.
What was that? It was just crazy. So
we were talking about New Year's Eve traditions before the show. So your family does something kind of cool. What do they do?
It's an awesome little German family tradition. I'm Dominican, but my mom's maiden name was the word German, so it was Hermann. German is the name. And we had this tradition where you'd get all the suitcases down from the attic, and you pick a couple, 1 or 2, depending on how long your trip, quote unquote, is going to be, and you go out the front door with 1 or 2 people on your journey, and some people stay in the house, and they bid you goodbye and bon voyage, and the family runs out and they're like, bye, have a great time, oh, we love you, da 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 da, and you say where you're going or whatever, and you go on your journey, and then you run around to the back door of the house where everybody is now waiting at the back door to greet you. Oh, welcome home, how was your trip, and all this stuff, and they give you hugs, and it's just like, and then they take the suitcases and then they go out the front door, and it turns into this like,
that's what I was about to ask. The people that stay inside, do they then get to do it after?
Oh yeah, but it's like immediate. It's like, oh, good to see you, let me get your bag for you, okay, bye, I'm leaving. It's just like, and it turns into this awesome little like circus of like out the front door, in the back door, and it's just really fun. And then you're like planning with other people, like, oh, let's go on this trip, okay, well, when they come back, what they want, and it's just like it's just a crazy, and everybody's talking Spanish and English, and it's just like, it's one of my favorite traditions. And it's been a while since I've been with my family, like for New Year's, because I kind of went through that, I just want to be with my friends or whatever. And it was really awesome to buckle down and just be like, I'm doing that. And then 12:30, okay, I'm done traveling, everybody, go home. That and some other things that we do, but that's the most popular.
I think I had a year like that too, where last year for Christmas I stayed in Lafayette with friends, and then for New Year's I was with friends last year, and this year I just wanted to be with family, and I spent 4 days up at my grandmother's house, and it was so nice to be around my family, and then I got to see some family members that I hadn't seen in a while too, so it was really nice. So sometimes you just need that. Sometimes you need friends, sometimes you need
that
family.
Tribe, that home, that feeling. Yeah.
And so do you want to weigh in on the amount of chain restaurants that are coming to us in 2016?
I do, but it's funny because I'm not fearful of it. Like, I'm like, bring it on. Like, I totally believe in our community to support one another because they have done it just tried and true every year and all the time, to support these local businesses. And so I think when these businesses come through, just like they have in the past, they'll probably fail, and we're not going to support them like they think we are. And I totally believe in the community of that, because we see each other, and it's like, I think Scott said earlier we were off, he's like a little big town. And that's totally, and I'm from Baton Rouge, captain of the chain restaurants. And I moved here to Lafayette, and I didn't get it at first. And then it was all of a sudden, it was just like, it's so true. Like, you just know everyone, and not do you just know them, like you sympathize for their home and their household, and you feel like you're part of we feel like a tribe, like a collection of people supporting one another. And it's like, so when you go eat at that restaurant, it's just like I always say to my employees in the back, I'm always like, remember guys, hearts to plates, because it's our love that we're feeding these people. And it's like, and I know that every chef in town feels that way.
Right, exactly. So I think, that's part of the reason why I love eating at the restaurants here, is because you can see the passion and the blood, sweat, and tears, that go into running a business. And it's very hard. And I know that it's probably harder for a local business to get started as opposed to a corporate business to get started, because they have more money
absolutely
to do that. So I feel like there should be tax breaks
for
Lafayette, Louisiana government.
Get on that
for restaurants,
locally owned,
to get to be able to fund more locally owned, operated businesses.
Absolutely. And it's funny because it's like, when we go to these chain restaurants, in a way we are supporting our local communities. The locals
they
work there,
and there is a percentage, and that's the whole argument, is that it's possibly a franchise that's owned locally. It's local people that are working in it, but still more of your dollars stay in a locally owned
business,
restaurant,
absolutely,
as opposed to a corporate restaurant. Just some of your money, majority of your money, is still going out.
That's one of the reasons that I love collaborating. For Tribe and Merge and stuff, and we get together with the restaurants and we make cocktails and just different foods and stuff, is because it's like, the more that I can support them, the more that they can support someone else. It just turns into a local chain,
right. And we had talked about that too on the last show when you and Hannah had came on, that it's almost like a restaurant co-op.
It is,
and that
absolutely.
we talked about like this may be the future for restaurants, and that
I hope so.
It's more cost effective because
absolutely.
it's three restaurants in one, essentially.
Right.
Yeah. So this may be something for entrepreneurial restaurateurs to think about.
Maybe take notes. No, don't take notes yet. Let me develop some good notes first.
So you gifted me with a juice cleanse last year, and Zach, who was on the show at the time, was supposed to do it as well, and he didn't because he's a chicken. We'll just say that because he's not on the air with us anymore, so we can say it. And I did the 3-day juice cleanse. I did the things that you had to do up to it, which I feel like the cutting out caffeine, meat, and then grains was the hardest part, as opposed to the actual juice cleanse, the 3 days on the juice cleanse. And I was surprised of how much more mental it was as opposed to the food. I would say it's 90% mental and 10% food.
It's funny. It's actually, that's the reason that we called the company Evolve to begin with, was because I had done a cleanse, and it was an evolution of myself. Like, it was like, yeah, okay, my body kind of reset and all that kind of stuff. But really it was the like, oh my God, I'm a food addict. Like, and not a good one.
Right.
Like, I don't have control over myself in certain, ways. And then it just opened up to all the other things, like, deep mental things that I was like, wow, these are things that I need to face now and like deal with. And it's been which is another reason why Emerge is so great, because you can go through all that. You have to go through all that. But then it's like, then you get to the point where you're like, oh, click, it makes sense. Now, how do I, go forward and like change other people's lives as well? So
I was very surprised by what I was craving, like during and then after, and then how my body would react to different things after that. I think I told you prior to that, like for stressful times, I want carbs and sugar. And I always know when I'm getting sick because I want a double cheeseburger from McDonald's, which is pretty much the only time I'll eat McDonald's. So if I'm like in a drive-thru McDonald's, I'm like, I'm about to get sick. But after the cleanse, I was disgusted by the thought of carbs and sugar, and so I was like, okay, my body does not want that. That's strictly
the truth,
like a drug reaction to how I'm handling stress. So after the juice cleanse, and I'm back to carbs now with the sick stress thing. But after the juice cleanse, whenever I would get sick, I wanted juice. Like I would automatically want to go back to a juice cleanse and just drink juice.
You allowed your body to tell you what you need rather than your mind.
Right. Yeah. And that was interesting. And then I craved meat the entire time I was on it. In fact,
told me that, and you were like, I want a burger for my first meal.
My friend was actually going to cook me a steak at midnight on the last day. And the last day, funny story, last day of the juice cleanse, like made it through the whole thing. It was at the day job, and they actually happened to have a bomb threat at the mall. I remember this. Yes. And I thought we were just going to go outside, and then they were going to let everyone back in. So I left my juice and my water and everything there. And then they ended up not letting us back in, and I was starving because you have to drink that juice every 2 hours.
Yes.
Otherwise, you'll be so hungry. And so they ended up sending us home, and I was hungry, and I was like, I don't know what to do. Like, I don't want to break the cleanse. And I ended up going to Whole Foods and getting this like white bean and kale soup, which I felt was the most like not bad thing that I could eat. And I remember I ate it, and I had been so cold like during the whole thing because the juice was cold, and it immediately I felt the warmth. And then I got a headache, and then I felt so guilty, and I was so mad at myself for breaking it, because then I got the call, like as soon as I was done eating it, I got the call with like, you gotta come back to work. They're letting you back into work. And I was so upset with myself that when my friend texted me to be like, hey, do you want your steak? I was like, no, I don't. I was like, I was so upset with myself for breaking it.
But that's the worst part is like, you can't cause that stress on yourself. And it's like, so many people are like, we're so gung-ho about our like New Year's resolution or whatever that like sometimes, you know, when you go and work out and you hate working out, you're releasing tons of stressful hormones that actually negate all of your working out.
Yeah.
So it's like, find something that you can like do and like be gentle on yourself. And like, that's something I've really learned this past year is like, be gentle on myself. Like, okay, so I start a cleanse and maybe I don't complete it all the way, or I end up eating something or mindlessly doing something that I'm not supposed to. And it's like, just, you know, be with that and like, okay, I did it. Now back, just bring yourself gently. It's kind of like a constant life meditation. It's like, just bring yourself back to the breath, bring yourself back to the present activity that you're working on. And like, you had that and that's fine, you know? And like, it didn't totally ruin it. You still had tons of benefits from it. I mean, you're saying, you know, after you didn't want the sugary carbs and all the heavy stuff, you know? So it's like, mission accomplished. Way to go, you know?
I would also like to mention that the first coffee after the juice was amazing. And what I think drugs may be like, I don't know. But I was like, I want to go on a juice cleanse again just to experience what this caffeine feels like. Because I felt like I was on speed that day.
Well, because you're so hypersensitive then at that point.
Because I had been off of it for 2, I think I hadn't had caffeine in like 2 weeks.
Oh, wow, yeah.
And so it was like instant. I like felt it kick in, and I was like, okay, guys, we're going to work today. And I was like, this is why people drink coffee. And I forgot what this feels like.
Right? Yeah, because we just totally toxify ourselves, and it's like we forget the benefits of like, you know, every once in a while, things done in moderation, you know, that stuff kind of comes back to us. So yeah, that's really cool, actually.
Okay, we are going to take a break, and when we come back, we have more on juice cleanses. So come back to us. It's a Lafayette Food Junkie show on News Talk 96.5 KPOW.
Did you know the average home now has over 5 internet-enabled devices? Computers, laptops, smartphones, tablets all have important information you don't want to lose. Protect them with iDrive Online Backup. Only iDrive protects an unlimited number of devices in your home or office with no per-computer charges. iDrive makes it easy to protect your most important data. Plans start at less than $5 a month. Use promo code PROTECT and you'll save 50% on your first year. That's iDrive.com.
The struggle is real.
Put on some music.
No way, I'm already over on my data.
It could be your friends, your neighbors.
You got your phone, right?
No way, I've only got 29% battery left.
Or even you.
Ugh.
The struggle is real, but there is hope.
No worries, I got it. I have Next Radio.
Next Radio?
What's that?
Yeah.
Oh, it's this free app for live radio on your phone. You just flip through what's playing now, music, news, sports, it's all there. And it uses up like 3 times less battery and 20 times less data.
Cool.
Nice.
If I hear a song I like, boom. Play history, it's all right there.
Oh, that's sick.
Yeah, Sprint, Boost, and Virgin already have it. T-Mobile and AT&T are going to have it soon.
Play Store?
Yep, Google Play Store.
Oh, sweet.
That's awesome.
Save the day. Be the hero. The struggle is real, but you can overcome. Download the Next Radio app free from the Google Play Store to unlock free FM radio on your smartphone.
Next Radio.
Radio you can see and hear.
This is the sound of salmonella gyrating on your undercooked chicken. And it looks like Mom might be taking it out a little early. Don't let salmonella get funky with your chicken. On average, 1 in 6 Americans will get a foodborne illness this year. So use a thermometer to cook each type of meat to the right temperature. Keep your family safe at foodsafety.gov. Brought to you by the USDA, HHS, and the Ad Council.
Welcome back to the Lafayette Food Junkie show on News Talk 96.5 KPEL. I'm your host, Tiffiany Decou, and we've been talking with Melody McMath, and we have been talking about juice cleanses. So why do you think people should do a juice cleanse?
Well, first of all, we just have to be a little bit honest with ourselves about our eating habits. We're hoarders. What I like to mean by that is that we just like shove things in our mouth. I mean, we eat like 3-5 times a day sometimes. And I know that, I know, including my mom, she was always like, oh, you didn't eat breakfast, you didn't eat lunch, you didn't. And it's like, well, yeah, Mom, but like I had bacon for breakfast that takes 12 to 16 hours to digest. Like these, we're so ingrained in ourselves, especially in the Cajun culture. You got to eat. Anytime anybody comes over for dinner, oh, you hungry? Let me get you something, whatever it is. And, Latin culture is the same. And so for us, it's like really honing down and realizing like how much do we really need to eat to sustain ourselves? And what are we eating that is it really sustaining us? A lot of times I loved the phrase that we're starving ourselves to overeating or something like that. And it's a very true statement because we eat so much, but then it's like how much of that is actually nutritious? How much of that can our bodies actually utilize to repair our skin, to repair our bones, or to rebuild the body, or to heal ourselves? Because cleanses is such an interesting commentary because some people call it a detox. And it's really not a detox necessarily because our bodies do that. The bodies do the detoxing. What we do is we're providing it with the cleaning supplies. So it's like, you go into a hoarder's house and you're like, okay, let's clean the house. And it's like, well, great. But there's all this stuff, blocking the cleaning supplies that are underneath the sink, or the sink is filled with stuff. You can't get to it. So the first day, a 1-day juice cleanse would basically just kind of empty out the walls of the intestines to allow for some assimilation to happen there and to get into those deeper muscles and tissues in the gut so that we can start providing nutrients for things like the gallbladder, the kidney, the liver, all these things that keep our bodies running clean. So juice cleansing is the idea that instead of having to digest the food and have this food matrix in which we have to disassimilate the food and the nutrients so that we can assimilate the nutrition, it's just straight drinking. So it absorbs into the body basically the same rate as like a tequila shot, about 20 minutes. Because there's nothing to have to work through, right? It's just pure nutrition, and that's why we use cold pressed juices. I recently discovered we're actually the only cold pressed juice in town, and we're actually the only full 100% raw restaurant in all of Louisiana.
Wow.
So you were saying earlier about some diversification. That's
Yeah,
some serious
that is very
diversification.
diverse. Yes.
So, so I'm pretty excited about that because there's a couple of places that serve raw foods, but that's not the 100% focus of their restaurant. I mean, granted, at Tribe, there's also another restaurant there that serves other foods, which is just a benefit, super diversified and great. You can have raw food and bring your non-raw food eating friend to eat something else. But so with juice, it's just about providing your body with those cleaning supplies so that it's really easy to do. It takes about 70% of our energy in order to digest. So the moment you eat something, that's why a lot of people, like after a meal or whatever, feel pretty tired. Mainly because cooked foods, number one, take a lot of energy to digest because the enzymes are all destroyed and your body doesn't recognize it as nutrition. So it's constantly sending out fighter, to be able to break it down.
Right.
So it's like sees it passing by and it's like, what is that? Everybody get it. It's like that kind of, and that, is not great for the digestion and it's not great for absorbing and taking in nutrition. So granted, some things are better cooked, obviously chicken. But one of the things that we want to make sure that we're doing when we're taking in juices or raw foods is creating a nice balance. And so that's one of the things we like to say, we think you drink, so that it's nice and easy. You just come in and, we have the juices that you have to get in the order that you have to get them. Super easy. So a lot of the things now that we provide is we do raw food cleanses, which is basically providing you with the meals in order to just be able to either grab and go in the case, in the cold case up front till 7 p.m. Or we can prepare the meals ahead of time for you and you can pick them up, every day or every couple of days. Some of them stay good in the fridge for a couple of days. Some need to be, you make them that day, you got to eat them. But it's great because you can just pick it up and it's really easy and it's something you just can take in and you're getting the full nutrition of the items. So we have things like meat pies now.
And they were beautiful. You showed me a picture. They're gorgeous.
They are so good. And we have our raw fermented cashew cheese inside, which has some herbs and stuff in it too, like rosemary and sage. And all of that stuff is like highly, highly beneficial, especially when you get into fermentation because of the probiotics that are happening to help enable more digestive materials going on. So one of the things we use a lot of in our raw foods, people kind of get weird. They're like, raw meat pies, that sounds dangerous. But it's really not. We make the crust. This is actually something that I've never seen done in raw food. So I'm like really excited about how it came out because it really looks like a meat pie.
It really does.
It's really crazy. And it's 100% raw and vegan and gluten-free and all that jazz. But the meat on the inside, we use our raw meat. Like basically we make meatballs for the spaghetti and meatballs and stuff. But it's got mushrooms and zucchini and walnuts. And walnuts are really high in glutamine. It's glutamine. And it's one of those amino acids that really helps to detoxify the liver. And it's also found in avocados, which if you ever get our raw wrap, it has avocado in it. And so that's another great source for that. And that's something that we highly recommend. So walnuts are actually really great detoxifying food for the liver. So if you're ever hungover, a handful of walnuts and a heartbeat, you're pretty good to go. Or, one of the raw wraps or the, spaghetti and meatballs is really great for that too. Turmeric is another one that I wanted to kind of mention.
Turmeric has been very big lately. I've been seeing it a lot in my Facebook feed.
It's really awesome, actually. We've been using it for a while in the 24 karat, which I know quite a you are probably really familiar with. And so it actually helps to reduce the growth of tumors. And so that's been a really beneficial thing that we use whenever we get somebody who has cancer and is coming to us to conjoin kind of with their therapy, or we have a couple people who have opted to do other things besides chemo, and they come to us for that juice, and have been really has been a really beneficial for them. And so and it also helps with the gallbladder because it helps to remove the unhealthy fats from the body. as well as the walnuts. That's one of the reasons walnuts have that healthy fat in there. Healthy fats help to handcuff themselves to unhealthy fats that are stuck in the body, and they remove it and they exit the system with it. So it's actually a really great kind of double whammy. So we do things like the immunity carrot cake, what I brought you. And that is that has walnuts, and then it has carrots and ginger and turmeric. So it's kind of like a huge combo of like detoxification and immunity boosting properties. And those are great for the raw food detox. You know, if you're doing it like an all day kind of thing, you would want to do like 3 raw food meals, a snack, and then like 2 juices. And that would be enough for you to just like kind of get a raw food cleanse. And I forget what it is. I think it's like every 30 days of raw food basically replaces a year of you eating cooked foods.
Oh, wow.
So you could literally begin to reverse your health if you got up to, like, for example, I'm 30. So if I did, I'm 31. I just said that on the radio. Everybody, now you know how old I am. So anyway, but if I did 31 months of, strictly raw food diets, I could literally reverse my aging and health, in that way. So that's been a really interesting concept that I've, been reading about on Penn State's website and a couple of other schools that have been doing some studies on different foods and stuff. As well as quinoa is something else. That's a cooked item. Okay. Great cooked item that we can include in any of our bowls. And so now we just, we can infuse that in there. So basically we have all these different things that we can combine together and create custom cleanses for everybody.
Okay, and so where can people get more information if they're interested in doing a cleanse? They contact you, they come into the store.
They can come into Tribe Collective or Emerge Juice. The phone number is 225-229-9554. That's my cell phone number for it. And you can go there or go to our website, emergejuice.com, which I have to change because it's Emerge, still evolve, but I'm getting on that. So
thank you so much for joining us tonight, Melanie.
Thank you for having me.
All right, that's our show. Thank you so much for tuning in. Join us next week, Sunday at 6 p.m. This has been Tiffiany Decou on Newstalk 96.5 KPEL, and this has been the Lafayette Food Junkie Show. Thanks for listening, and as always, happy eating, Acadiana.